What's up, guys? This is Travis with Virginia Highlands Outdoors, and in this video I hit up my local lake and was aiming for some largemouth bass. Now usually it's a little bit easier to catch largemouth in the winter, but for some reason this year I've been having a little bit of trouble hooking up with the largemouth. I've already caught a couple smallmouth down at the at North Fork Holston River, and usually smallmouth are a little bit trickier to catch, but luckily I was able to hook up with some of them. It's in a previous video. But the largemouth have not really been wanting to hit. I don't know if it's my line. I've actually been using trilene 10-pound big game, which I'm not a fan of at all because it twists really bad, and yes, I don't know, it's just not a real smooth casting line, but that's all I had basically, so that's what I'm using. But this largemouth here, he's kind of a dink, but at least I get the first one on the board for 2017. And one thing I do here is, a lot of people say fan cast, which is, a good method to do, don't get me wrong. But a lot of times, if that doesn't work, I'll cast to the same spot at least like 2 or 3 times, because I want to assume that there's a fish following my lure every time. So if you get that mental picture of there's a fish stalking your lure, you'll actually present the lure better. So if you reel it in and nothing hits it, just think in your head maybe there was a fish following it. So when you cast back out, you're going to catch it as it's returning back to its spot, and a lot of times you'll get hooked up, and that's actually what happened here. I changed my retrieve slightly, and he ended up taking it. Now that's the same basic 10 feet of water that I was casting in, right there. So it's good to just double check and maybe triple check. A lot of times that helps me out, even in still water. Just assume that there's a fish following it, and if you get that in your head mentally, thinking that there might be a fish behind it, you'll actually work your lure a little bit better, because sometimes when we're fishing we get a little complacent in our presentation and we just kind of slack up and just sort of just go with the flow for a little bit, and sometimes that works. But like I said, if you just picture a fish that's stalking your lure, I promise you'll present it a little bit better. So hopefully that tip will help you out a little bit, help you land some more fish. And there's my little, probably 13-ounce bass and soaking wet. So that's the first largemouth of the year. Thanks for watching.